Hello and welcome to the Wisdom Path. If you've ever found yourself asking, why do bad things happen to good people? You are not alone. Today, we'll explore a powerful story about facing suffering, finding strength, and moving forward when life feels unfair. Stay with me until the end for lessons that might just change the way you look at pain and healing. And if you find value here, please don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Path for more inspiring stories and life lessons. Let me tell you about a man named Daniel. Daniel was a kind soul, a teacher loved by his students, a father deeply adored by his children. One day, tragedy struck. His youngest daughter was diagnosed with a rare illness. Daniel wasn't just heartbroken, he was furious. He spent nights looking at the ceiling, asking the same question over and over. Why? Why her? Why us? He wasn't alone in these questions. Many of us, when faced with deep pain, search for meaning where none seems to exist. Daniel's journey of healing didn't start with easy answers. It started with a new understanding. Life isn't fair, and it doesn't have to be. Lesson 1. Life's pain is not a punishment. When bad things happen, it's natural to look for reasons. Did I do something wrong? Am I being punished? But the truth Daniel found was much simpler, and in many ways more freeing. Pain is not punishment. Pain is a part of living in a fragile, unpredictable world. As Tony Robbins once said, life is happening for you, not to you. It doesn't mean every tragedy has a hidden blessing. It means that even in our worst moments, life is offering us a choice. Grow or stay stuck. Imagine life as a beautiful garden. Sometimes storms come and rip apart the flowers. Not because the flowers deserved it. Not because the gardener was cruel. But simply because storms are part of nature. Daniel realized that blaming himself, his faith, or the world would not heal his daughter or his broken heart. Instead, he chose to accept that life can be wildly unfair, and that acceptance gave him room to find peace. Lesson 2. God, or a higher power, does not send suffering, but offers strength. For a long time, Daniel felt betrayed by his faith. He had always believed in a loving God. But now, he couldn't understand how a loving God could allow his daughter to suffer. One evening, a friend shared a simple but powerful idea with him. Maybe God doesn't send the pain. Maybe he stands with you in it. It was like a light turned on inside Daniel's heart. He began to see God not as the cause of his suffering, but as the source of his endurance. Think about a parent whose child falls and scrapes their knee. The parent didn't cause the fall, but they are the first to run over, pick the child up, and comfort them. In the same way, Daniel started praying not for the illness to magically disappear, but for the strength to be the father his daughter needed. Prayer didn't change the situation, it changed him. As Joe Dispenza wisely says, you can't wait for your healing to feel wholeness. You have to feel wholeness for your healing to begin. Lesson 3. The better question is not, why me? But what now? At some point, Daniel realized he could stay trapped in asking why. Or he could start asking, what now? Why kept him stuck in the past, searching for reasons that might never come. What now opened the door to healing, action, and love. He began to cherish every good day his daughter had. He focused on creating joyful memories instead of waiting for tragedy to define their lives. Imagine you're driving, and suddenly your car breaks down. You can sit on the side of the road for hours asking, why did this happen to me? Or you can get out, call for help, and find your way back home. Pain may block the path you planned, but it doesn't have to end your journey. You can build a new road. Short anecdote. Once, Daniel sat by his daughter's hospital bed, exhausted and broken. She looked up at him, her eyes full of life, and whispered, "Thank you for being here, Daddy." That small moment, just being present, became the answer to all his why questions. Love was stronger than pain. Connection was more important than fairness. Daniel's story teaches us something powerful. Life's storms don't mean you have failed. They mean you are human. And in our most painful moments, we have a choice: to stay angry at the storm or to dance in the rain. Thank you for watching part 1 of this journey on the Wisdom Path. In the next part, we'll dive even deeper into how faith, meaning, and compassion can transform even the darkest nights into a new dawn. Lesson 4. Faith is not about preventing pain, it's about finding meaning. After months of battling fear and sadness, Daniel had another realization. Faith was not about believing that everything would magically get better. It was about believing that his life, his love, and his actions still mattered, even in the face of uncertainty. Faith wasn't a shield against suffering. It was a torch that helped him find his way through the darkness. Imagine you are walking through a dense forest at night. You don't have the power to move the trees or chase away the night, but you do have a small lantern. That lantern doesn't remove the night. It simply gives you enough light to take the next step. For Daniel, faith became that lantern. He stopped praying for miracles. Instead, he started praying for meaning, courage, and peace, one day at a time. He prayed not to erase the pain, but to learn how to live with it and to still find moments of joy and beauty. A short story. One day, Daniel and his daughter were painting together. Her hands were shaky, her face tired, but they laughed and splashed paint on the walls. That day, they didn't talk about illness. They didn't think about the future. In that moment, faith was simply being fully alive, together. That small memory, painted in bright colors and laughter, became a treasure more valuable than any miracle Daniel could have asked for. Lesson 5. The best response to pain is compassion, not explanation. When Daniel's friends and relatives visited, they often didn't know what to say. Some tried to explain the situation. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe this is part of a bigger plan. Though well-meaning, these words sometimes made Daniel feel more alone. What he needed wasn't answers. What he needed was love. One evening, a friend visited. He didn't say much. He just sat beside Daniel, held his hand, and stayed quiet. That silent presence spoke louder than any words could. Daniel realized something important. When someone is hurting, we don't need to fix their pain. We just need to walk beside them through it. Imagine someone who falls into a deep pit. They don't need you to shout theories from the top about why the pit exists. They need you to climb down, sit beside them, and remind them they are not alone. Helpful tip: the next time someone you care about is hurting, resist the urge to explain their pain away. Instead, offer your presence, sometimes just sitting in silence. Offering a hug or saying, "I'm here with you," is the greatest gift you can give. As Denzel Washington once said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship." It's in the hard moments that real love and strength are born. Lesson 6. You don't have to forgive life's unfairness, but you can let go of anger. Daniel also struggled with anger, a lot of it, at life, at fate, sometimes even at God. For a long time, he thought he had to forgive the unfairness before he could move on. But slowly he learned. Forgiveness wasn't about pretending the pain didn't exist. It was about choosing not to let that pain control him. Holding on to anger is like holding on to a burning coal, hoping it will hurt someone else. But the person who gets burned the most is you. Daniel learned to release his anger, little by little. Not because the world became fair, not because everything made sense, but because he deserved peace. Metaphor? Think of a ship carrying heavy cargo across the sea. If the cargo is too heavy, the ship will sink. Sometimes, you have to throw some weight overboard to stay afloat. Daniel realized that anger, blame, and endless why questions were sinking his spirit. He began to throw them overboard one by one. And as he did, his ship began to rise again, moving slowly but surely toward healing. Daniel's story reminds us, you don't need to have all the answers to find peace. You don't need to understand every pain to move forward. You just need faith in the journey, compassion for yourself and others, and the courage to let go of what weighs you down. Thank you for staying with me through part 2 of this journey on the Wisdom Path. In part 3, we will see how Daniel's life and outlook completely transformed, and how you too can find hope, meaning, and resilience even after the hardest storms. Don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Path. Lesson 7. You can live with the questions. For a long time, Daniel thought he needed answers. He believed that understanding why would heal his heart. But over time, he realized some questions don't have answers. And that's okay. Life is like a massive, beautiful puzzle. Some pieces fit perfectly. Others seem like they will never find their place. But even with missing pieces, the picture can still be beautiful. Daniel made peace with not knowing. He accepted that some pain would never fully make sense. But he also saw that life could still be rich with love, laughter, and meaning. A short story. Years later, Daniel's daughter grew up. Her illness never fully left, but her spirit was strong. She became a volunteer at a hospital, helping children who were also fighting tough battles. One afternoon, she said to Daniel, "Dad, I want to help others feel less alone, because I know what it feels like." In that moment, Daniel's heart was full. Maybe he never found the answer to why us, but he found something even greater: the power to turn pain into purpose. Lesson 8. Healing is a journey, not a destination. Daniel's healing didn't happen all at once. There were days when he still cried, days when he still felt lost. But he learned that healing is not a finish line you cross. It's a road you walk every day. Some days you run. Some days you crawl. But as long as you keep moving forward, you are healing. Imagine healing like climbing a mountain. At first, the top looks impossibly far. You slip, you fall, you doubt. But with every step, every small act of courage, you get closer to the sunlight. Daniel built small daily habits to support his healing, writing down 3 things he was grateful for: taking long walks in nature, spending time with people who made him feel seen and loved, helping others even when he still carried his own pain. Helpful tip: if you are hurting, don't wait for a magic moment when all your pain disappears. Start with small steps: gratitude, kindness, movement, connection. Tiny seeds of hope planted today can grow into forests of strength tomorrow. As Brian Tracy said, develop an attitude of gratitude and give thanks for everything that happens to you, knowing that every step forward is a step toward achieving something bigger. Lesson 9. You are stronger than you think. The biggest gift Daniel received from his journey was the discovery of his own strength. He realized he had survived things he once thought would break him. He realized that deep inside him lived a well of courage, patience, and love deeper than any fear. And you have that same strength inside you too. You might not feel it every day. You might not always believe it. But strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just the quiet voice that says, "I will try again tomorrow." Metaphor. Think of a tree in a storm. The storm bends it, shakes it, even break some of its branches. But after the storm passes, the tree grows new branches, stronger and deeper than before. Pain doesn't erase who you are. It reveals the depth of your roots. Maybe you're going through a storm right now. Maybe you've lost someone. Maybe life has dealt you unfair cards. I want you to remember this. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. Every scar you carry is a story of survival. Every tear you have shed has watered the seeds of your future strength. You are standing in the rain, and you are still standing. And that is something powerful, beautiful, and unbreakable. Thank you for walking with me through Daniel's story here on the Wisdom Path. His journey reminds us that life may not always be fair, but it can still be meaningful. That pain may visit us, but it doesn't have to define us. And that strength, faith, and love are always within reach, even in the darkest nights. If you found value, inspiration, or even a little hope here today, please subscribe to The Wisdom Path. There are many more stories, lessons, and paths we will walk together. Until next time, keep moving forward, keep believing in your strength, and never forget, even when the rain falls, the sun is never far behind.